Hey everyone, it's Morty here bringing you episode number 20 of the Master Mordy Push to the Top. Today we have a bit of a longer episode. It was a nice full map clear. So let's go ahead and jump right in. This was a really nice map clear. We actually got quite a few global bases. So we'll see. These are some really nice hits. Tough bases today. So we're global 118 at 1,348 victory points and 27 of the US leaderboard. First hit is 1387 VP. And it looks like he has 7 ice, with 4 of them being boosted. So it's a pretty tough base. So we go ahead and use Everspark. We use 2 smokes. We flare in the shock launcher, and then we mark with an artillery the rocket. So that goes ahead and double hacks. Take out the rocket and shock launcher. Just eliminating some of those deadly defense, and then we'll go ahead and smoke to the back. The reason for this is now with those 2 out of the way, we can pretty much get the rocket, the last rocket, and that laser beam relatively easily. And now we can just see the 4 boosted ice out of the 7. So once we get that rocket launcher and laser, the base should not be that difficult. We use some critters to activate the laser first. Then we waited like 2 to 3 seconds to use up the delay a little bit. Then we drop the shock just to maximize that laser delay without shocking it. Okay, so the rocket is down. Now the only real thing we gotta worry about is that laser. So basically just keep shocking it and we're good. This time we go ahead and drop our critters. The laser doesn't even target the critters, but it doesn't really hit most of our troops. It misses the majority of them. And we drop one more shock. And as you can see, pretty much everything's down now. The only thing we have now is, I guess, those mortars and the shock launcher. But we have more than enough troops just to kind of, I guess, overpower them, just overwhelm them, and still be able to take down that core. No problem. And down it goes. Moving on to the next base. We have another player at 1349 victory points. Very similar to my VP as well. So on this base, we actually go ahead and barred out the rocket and shock launcher. We don't use spark for that. Just use more of the GBE. Okay, so we cleared a little bit on the landing. I don't really like the smokes we used, but it got it done. So this base only has 2 ice, so it's relatively easy, so I don't think I really cared or planned too much. Kind of just was like, alright, let's just hit it and take it down. And as you can see, that's what we did. So we cleared everything, we got the left shield, and now we're just taking down the car again. We have more than enough troops. There's not much they can do to really take us down there. To stop all those troops. Alright. That was a quick one just because it was low ice. Wasn't too difficult. Let's move on to the next base. This base has rain. 1634 victory points. This base has 10 ice, 4 boosted. So this is an incredibly tough base. 10 ice, 4 boosted would be equivalent to 7 boosted ice, which is what the top players use. So this base is pretty much as hard as it gets. So we go ahead and do Sparky to take out the rocket and shock launcher on the left hand side, and then we go ahead and barred out the back rocket launcher. Now that we did that, we got quite a bit of defense out of the way. We just basically have to clear this front over here, and then we're all set. If you notice how much damage this thing has, that mortar, it took out my rifles in 1 shot. So I lost a whole group of mortars in 1 shot there. That's why we shocked it. And then we go ahead and shock that rocket launcher, shock launcher group. Luckily, these can be shocked together. And with that being done, it's relatively straightforward to take this out. We cleared all we wanted to clear. Now we flare back down to group them up, and we're going to smoke to the back. So at this point we got all the rockets and all the shock launchers cleared. So we're in a great position right now. Okay, so we smoke to the back. There's nothing that can reach us. We basically just have to deal with that shock blaster. It's the one big remaining issue, but with all these extra free cells we have over here, that is, we'll have plenty of GB for shocks, critters, whatever we need. So we go ahead and drop the first shock. We drop another shock. Again, we probably have GB, so it's not even an issue. Alright, the shock blaster goes down. Now remember, at this point we used Everspark in the beginning to take out the rocket and shock blast and shock launcher, so we don't have the constant critters. So what we did was we flared inwards and we took out those two boom cannons, because if those were hitting us the entire time and picking off our Zookas, we would have had some issues. So we had to make sure to take them out. And at the end there, if you notice the double med kit, Angry Family signature right there, representing, and down it goes. That was a really tough base. So here we have another base. This base is 7 ice and 4 of them are boosted. So 7 ice, 4 boosted. So we had 7 ice, 4 boost. We had a 10 ice, 4 boosted. Now 7 ice, 4 boosted. Seems people like to boost 4 statues. Alright, we take out that sniper tower just to get us a little bit of extra GB. So after we do that, we just go ahead and flare up. We do the short flare first. So first we do the short flare to group them up, and then we go ahead and do the long flare all the way to the back. Now that our Zookas had a chance to kind of catch up in the halfway mark, they don't trail too far behind, as you can see. So we do a quick grouping flare, then we drop a critter, and just 1 shock. Wow. We drop a second shock. So we drop 1 shock, we delay it intentionally, then we drop the second shock. So we have just a little bit longer to hit that core. Because we used the critters first, so that took the first laser shot. So then we could delay the second shock. That was really nicely done. Those critters are what allowed us to shock that one later than the other one. And that base was 1673. So he was a top global base as well. So Vane was also 1600s. These are like top 20 global. So really tough bases. Okay, so this base looks relatively easy. I cannot see how much ice he has. It looks like it's hidden quite well. But regardless, we drop 2 shocks, 3 shocks, and a critter. Then we just watch the core go down. Looks like we have all our troops tightly fit into there, and we get it done. So this base is 6 ice, 2 boosted. I believe I see 4 blue guardians. Okay, so there's one of the masterpieces. So it looks like he's hiding 2 masterpieces somewhere, and those 2 masterpieces are boosted. So 6 ice, 2 boosted, and that was King Cobra. Next we have Q, another top global base. This is number 7 global at the time, and he held number 1 for a few months. As you can see, he has the purple badge. And he has 7 ice, 2 boosted. This was right around when he finished his push, so he was just kind of maintaining and stalling his victory points until he completely fell off the leaderboard. So on this base there are no rockets or anything covering the landing, so we can basically use a flare there. So we flare our troops. It allows us to group a little tighter and neater, so that works out nicely. Clears the mines perfectly. Don't think we lost any troops in the walk, so that was really nice. And there we go, we drop a critter. And 3 shocks. So if you looked first, the laser targeted the heavies and did not hit my Zukas. That was incredibly lucky. Then we used the critters, and the laser targeted the critters, also keeping my Zukas alive. So this base went down relatively easily. We hardly lost any troops on a top base like this. It's just the execution was very nicely done there, so we were able to take it down. We lost 4 Zukas and 4 heavies, which I think is very impressive for this type of base. So as you can see here, it's number 7 on the global leaderboard, Q. And he has a purple badge, so he held the number 1 spot for quite a while. Okay, let's move on to the next base. We have some turtle chat. This is when he was in Volcano, prepping for his push. Building powder on his Power Stone Chance account, Turtle. So this base is 4/5 boosted ice. So nothing to take lightly. Quite difficult actually. So this is a standard corner base walk. We do it all the time. It looks like that one mortar shot took out a nice chunk of our Zukas, and that may cost us. Our Zukas are almost falling behind, but luckily they do manage to stay in the smokes. We use a V-flare, and I flare the car. So we go ahead and drop 3 shocks and the critter. Oh, that shock launcher got us, and those rocket launchers are hitting us. Let's see how we do. Oof, shock launcher got us again. So this was actually a fail. We left a drop of health on the core, so that was really, really unfortunate. Almost had it. Made a couple mistakes on these hits. Just even a little bit of, just a few mistakes there can really cost you the attack. So because I lost a couple on the walk from that mortar and that shock launcher hit me instead of the critters, I wasn't able to finish that base. So here we go. We're trying it again. Same base, same attack. Let's just do it a little better this time so it goes down. You really have to be very careful not to lose troops on the walk. Now what I did this time was I used 1 landing craft of heavies and 7 landing crafts of Zukas. So we're using the extra firepower from the Zukas to hopefully get this base down. And this time our smoking is a lot better. We are not losing troops on the walk, which is perfect. We're leaving that heavy to go up ahead, take out those mines, and once it does that, we basically let the heavy die. Because they got too far ahead, and if we would have tried to keep up with it, we would have lost too much Zukas from smoking. Okay, so we do the V-flare. Then we go ahead and drop again the same 3 shocks and critters. Then we drop another critter. We got to make sure we keep that laser beam distracted. And this time, we kept the shock launcher busy. The shock launcher did not target us, and the base went down relatively easily. So just those few small little details, like the critter timing, just being a drop off, made such a difference because that shock launcher just barely got us last time. Okay, let's move on to the next base. We have a Chinese account with 1342 victory points. This base is 6 ice, 3 boosted. We go ahead and part out that machine gun, like we do on many of these bases. And we do our standard corner base walk here. We let our heavies intentionally get shocked by that shock launcher, which allows us, the Zukas, a little more time to catch up. My brick did hit a boom mine. Luckily it's maxed, so I was able to hit the boom mine and still survive. So we go ahead and we drop 3 shocks and 2 critters. Remember, keep that laser beam and that shock launcher distracted, which it did, and the core goes down. 6 ice, 3 boosted. Let's see what we have next. Next face we have is Issimilus, and he has 4 boosted ice. We go ahead and bard out the boom cannon and sniper tower. Again, give us a nice little spot for our troops to sit. And then we go ahead and drop all of our troops. We drop the heavies first, so we don't need to use 2 smokes on landing, since the heavies absorb the rocket fire. This is a really nice landing, and it basically saves us 1 smoke. Since we use 1 smoke, we let our heavies take the fire, and then we drop 1 smoke just to keep our Zookas safe. Alright, we do a reflare, then we flare the core. Now we drop 2 shocks and a critter. We let the laser beam fire. After the laser fires the first time on the critters, we then shock it. Again, this was all intentional. And the core just barely goes down. We have, I think, just 1 Zuka that survived this attack. So he is the MVP. Let's see how many Zukas we had. We actually had 2 Zukas survive the attacks. We had 2 MVP players here. So let's see, now we have MX Fuke. This is another top global base. This is number 4 on the global leaderboard. And it looks like he has just 2 boosted ice. So he has 7 ice, 2 boosted. Maybe he was trying to save powder or something, I'm not really sure. And we go ahead and drop the 1 heavy, 7 Zukas as well, because we need extra firepower. It seems that this time we've done this layout, these corner bases so many times, so we gotten pretty good at them, as you can see. Just the constant repetition and muscle memory really makes you good at it. Lost a couple Zukas there with the smoke, but that's alright. Do the grouping flare, we drop our critters, and 3 shocks. And there we go with the second critters as well. And down it goes. On another top global base for today. This was number 4 global, MX Fuke. He's actually pushing again. This account that he pushed with, he was really close to the number 1 spot, but his account was sabotaged. And someone salvaged all his statues, so he is pushing again. And he is working his way back up the leaderboard, and we'll see if he gets to hold number 1 this time or not. So I guess we're showing you the attack one more time, just so you can see the rush. We'll slow down for the rush. We drop a critter, and 3 shocks. Then we wait a little bit. The critters are almost gone, but just in time we drop the second critters, and that keeps everything distracted. Long enough for it to go boom. So that was MX Fuke. As you can see, he's number 4 on the global leaderboard at 2309 victory points. Alright. So it looks like that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. This was a longer one, but we had some really nice bases today. Some of the top global bases. So I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And I'll do my best to get those answered. Usually me or Turtle will answer those relatively quickly.